how long is long? So if you take 2 weeks,
Oh, you can
sounds it's long.
if you negotiate. A lot of employers, if you negotiate it at a time, you can take as much holidays as you
Okay.
want. Yeah. So if you wanted to travel for 3 months and you had the leave through, you
3
could
months?
you could go
Yeah.
travel.
My friend did 8 weeks in
3
Europe.
months.
Yeah,
That's
eight weeks
a
in
lot.
Europe last year, all in one go. And
Most Japanese people are afraid of causing inconvenience with clients or coworkers by taking long vacations.
I think it'd be opposite in Australia. If you're stopping someone from taking their holidays, you're seen as the bad guy.
so we booked this holiday a few months ago, and we always for a while we planned to come in April. It turns out April at one of my jobs at the moment, it's so busy,
Yeah.
and I was like, bye, not my problem.
In Japan, there's no law about sick leave, so only 22% of the company have sick leaves. So most Japanese people don't know about sick leaves. What is sick leave?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's right.
that's the first thing you get taught.
If you're too sick to come to work, so if you're not going to be doing a good job, then don't go to work.
So thank you for your time. I'm Louis. What's your name?
Josh,
Bridget.
Okay, where are you from?
Australia.
And are you guys traveling in Japan?
Yeah, for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you unemployed or self-employed?
Employed.
Yeah, employed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I will ask you about work environment in your country. First, regarding paid holidays. I'm sorry, what's your job first?
I'm a postman for Australia Post.
Okay.
I work in data analysis and also in horse racing.
Okay, thank you. And in Japan, regarding paid holidays, in Japan we have a minimum of 10 paid holidays for a year after 6 months starting a job. How long do you have? How many paid holidays do you get per year?
In my job, it's 4 weeks paid holidays a year, but after 10 years of service, you get 10 weeks long service leave,
Okay.
which is full-time rate.
Okay.
Or it's if you work part-time and then you get made full-time halfway through, it'll be half part-time. Yeah, it depends on how long you work as
Okay.
full-time or part-time. But yeah, 4 weeks a year and 10 weeks after 10 years.
Okay. Do you have legal minimum in your country?
It's 4 weeks. It's 4 weeks.
Yes, so if you're full-time employed, then it's minimum 4 weeks per year, but you can be a casual employee where you
Part-time?
kind of part-time, but because you don't get paid holidays, you get paid a higher hourly rate.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, I think it's about 25% more. Yeah.
I see.
But yeah, no sick leave or holidays is casual. Yeah.
According to Sundot, Japan's paid holiday utilization rate is 60%, which ranks the second worst in the world. Also, the majority of reasons why people don't take paid holiday is because they feel guilty for taking paid holiday because everyone else is busy working. What do you think about this compared to your country? Do you feel guilty or some pressure to take
It's
them?
dishonourable in Australia not to pull a sickie, which is
It's sick leave.
sick leave. So you just, I can't be bothered coming into work today. So you, like a Monday, you've had a big weekend, so you just call in sick.
Wow.
Yeah. So you get 15 of those. So you get 15 days a year. I'm not sure if it's every employee, but you get sick leave, and an employer gives you 5 days of that certificate, medical certificate.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't get any sleep last night, just ring up. You're not coming in today.
Wow.
Don't feel well.
And that's
Yeah.
culturally that's okay for
Yeah.
us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is no pressure to take vacations.
But no, actually, that's probably the opposite problem where some people just abuse it and just take sick leave ridiculous amounts. Yeah.
Okay.
they don't like it. So you get 4 weeks a year, but if you don't use it, then it keeps building. So you can end up with more and more time. And when you quit your job, the job has to pay all of that out. So they prefer if you take it.
So if you don't,
not your sick leave. Your sick leave doesn't get paid out. Your regular leave.
vacation
your
leave. So
vacation
if you
leave.
don't use your vacation leaves, company need to pay you when
Yeah.
you quit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can save it up if you like.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you can, my employer gives you 12 weeks, and they have to start cashing out the leave or paying the leave. But yeah, when you quit the job or resign, or if they terminate your employment, they have to pay all your holidays and your long service leave.
Okay. So that means company wants you to use that, right? Because they don't want to pay.
Yeah.
That's the system.
Yeah. We're good. We're lucky.
Okay. Since Japan's paid holiday utilization rate is very low, in 2019 the government forced people to take 5 days a year. but people still feel guilty about taking the 5 days connect together. So most people ended up taking each day separately, like one day off at a time. So usually we don't have vacation like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So please give your honest opinion about this.
Oh, that sounds like it sucks. That sounds like it sucks. Yeah. Maybe Australia's just very generous, but you can take a whole 4-week block off or 2 weeks off. But it's different if you're self-employed. If you run your own business, you kind of have to plan that. Yeah.
Right.
And the bigger the company, the more generous they are. Will tend to be with the sick leave and leave.
Right.
Yeah, recreational leave. Yeah.
Yeah, like sometimes you'll have busy periods at work where it's like it's preferred you don't take holiday leave, but so we have this thing called like Fair Work, which is like the government body that makes sure all the laws are being followed. And if your boss tells you can't take holidays that you want to book, then Fair Work can, crack down on it and tell them off. So yeah, we have it good that way. But if you like your job, you try and help them where you can, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, it's a bit of give and take. Yeah.
How long is long? So if you take 2 weeks,
you can if you
it's long.
If you negotiate. A lot of employers, if you negotiate it at a time, you can take as much holidays as you want. Yeah. So if you wanted to travel for 3 months and you had the leave accrued, you could
3 months.
You could go travel for 3 months.
My friend did 8 weeks in Europe.
3 months.
Yeah, eight weeks in Europe last year, all in one go. And if you can save it up and do it that way.
Oh, okay.
And again, it's the higher up in the chain you are, though, it's the less leeway you got. So if you're like you're important in the company, like you're a high level manager, less of an incentive to do that because no one's going to be doing your work. But say if you're just a standard milk employee, you kind of can get away with it. Yeah. So a little bit more freedom the lower than you are higher ranks. But yeah.
And most Japanese people are afraid of causing inconvenience to clients or coworkers by taking long vacations. So what do people think about the inconvenience caused to clients or coworkers by taking long vacation in your company?
I think it'd be opposite in Australia. If you're stopping someone from taking their holidays, you're seen as the bad guy.
So we booked this holiday a few months ago, and we always for a while we'd planned to come in April. And it turns out, April at one of my jobs at the moment, it's so busy. Yeah. And I was like, bye. Not my problem.
So because your manager and your coworkers, everybody taking long vacation, so people think it's kind of normal thing.
Yeah, it's completely normal. Like everyone respects it. You want to take holidays at that time, you take holidays. Or if you've got leaves that you're entitled to, people won't kick up a stink about it. Yeah.
Okay, I see. And regarding sick leaves, do you have sick leaves in a country's law?
Yeah, we have a generous sick leave.
That's separate from vacation leave,
yes.
Right?
Yeah. So I think you can take one day just you can just call in sick, but if you want to take longer than 1 day at a time, you need a doctor's note, or you can get them from a pharmacist as well, just saying too sick to go to work.
I think it's longer than that. I think it's 3 days.
Might be 3 days now. Yeah, it changes. It used to be always needed a doctor's note, but now it's longer. And when in the middle of COVID, if you got COVID, you're told to stay home for 2 weeks no matter what.
Right.
Yeah.
And in Japan, there's no law about sick leave. So only 22% of the company have sick leaves. So most Japanese people don't know about sick leaves. What is sick leave?
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's true.
That's the first thing you get taught.
If you're too sick to come to work, so if you're not going to be doing a good job, then don't go to work. Yeah. But also, if you have a cold or a flu and you go to work, you're going to make everyone else sick. So it's preferred you stay home. But there's still some places in Australia where they'll make you work when you're sick and you'll go with a cold.
Yeah, like I said, the more important you are, people won't force you to work, but you'll have more work when you come back because no one else is going to do your job. But if someone else is doing your job, then you kind of take sick leave.
Yeah, and in Japan, if you are sick and have to take a day off for more than 4 days, you are covered by government insurance. But within 4 days, no payment. So if you have a sick or a cold or get the flu, we often use our paid holidays. So or we choose to work while get sick. So that's why people want to save paid holidays for when get sick or just in case. So what do you think about this compared to your country?
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, probably what we've noticed being here is there's a lot of people who are still going to work sick, like, you know, waitresses and stuff. And it just seems normal here for you to just go about your business while you're sick, as long as you're able to get out of bed, which, in Australia, it's mostly not like
they
that.
send you home if they notice you're sick.
Yeah.
The manager pulls you and go home.
Yeah, right. And that's one of the reasons why the paid holiday utilization rate is really low, because people don't want to use full traveling, like don't want to use all of them up, because we need some, because when we get sick or cold, we want to use paid holidays. Otherwise, we won't get paid. That's one of the reasons. And regarding overtime, do you work overtime often?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my job, I think in our contract, it's after 7 hours and 21 minutes, and you get overtime, which is 1.5 times your pay. And depending on what the employer negotiates, they might pay you an overtime meal allowance, which is a tax-free lump sum of money, which you're meant to spend on buying food. But it's basically just extra pay for the hour. So say if you get like $30 for the hour, your overtime will be 45. But if your employer pays a meal allowance, technically that hour's like $60 because they're paying you $15 for a meal. So that kind of covers. If you do it you do that the whole week, you kind of get your groceries paid for. Yeah. I think, and after 3 hours of overtime, you have to be paid double time, which is obviously just
double
time. Yeah, double time. Yeah. They don't want to pay that, so they always try and make sure you finish. And also, like, not every job will pay overtime. Like, it'll be salary based, so you're just going to get what you get paid via salary. But if you pay for the hour, you get overtime.
So in generally in your country, 8 hours a day and 5 days.
Yeah, 7 to 8 hours is after 7 to 8 hours they start paying overtime. I'm not sure what the exact number would be, all the hours per week you have to work, but it's about 7 hours a day to 8 hours a day would be overtime.
And do you work overtime too?
Yeah, so my data analysis job, sometimes they need me to do work on Saturdays, which will be like time and a half, so like 1.5 hours for every hour I work, and then on Sundays it's double time. So usually they don't worry about overtime as such. It's just if I work a Sunday, then I can have like Thursday and Friday off instead. And same, I think public holidays are double time as well. And in horse racing, Sundays are double time and public holidays are double time as well.
In Japan, the maximum overtime work is 45 hours per month. Do you think this is long compared to our company?
45 hours per month.
Like,
means maybe 2 hours each day if you work 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the maximum they'll pay you?
In a low. I mean,
there's no maximum in Australia.
There is no maximum in Australia.
No maximum.
It's based on contract to your company.
Yeah, so if you work over a certain amount of time, you'll get paid for how many hours.
I see. And in Japan, overtime pay is the hourly wage plus 25%. Is it? If you work overtime, you get 1.5, and you work more than 3 hours, you get double.
Yeah, 1.5 to double time. But always a lot more than what you get paid normally.
That's a lot. And in Japan, if you leave work on time, people think you're unmotivated. So people tend to choose work overtime because they're concerned about what others think of them or their evaluation or something like that. So is there any pressure to leave on time?
My job, no, it's because I ride a motorbike for my job, so it's kind of dangerous. So if you rush around, it costs the company more to cover the medical costs of your accident than it is to pay the time. But I'm sure there would be companies in Australia there would be an incentive not to pay the overtime. No, there's no limit to your overtime. Nothing like that.
Mine is like I'll have it for data. I'll have a set amount of work that I'll have for the week to do, and it's up to me how quickly or slowly I get that done. But I do have to make sure that work's done. So.
I see. In Japan, there is also practice called unpaid overtime, which employees do not get paid for working an additional 15 or some hours. A survey shows that about 40% of people in Japan work an average of 18 hours of unpaid per month. Is there any customs like that in your country?
There would be unpaid overtime in smaller companies, but not very common. It's they don't want you doing that because that's like illegal minefield. You
That's
can go
it.
to Fair Work and
Yeah, you'll get in trouble with the government. Like
Right.
your work will get in trouble with the government if they're not paying you for overtime.
In Japan, it's illegal too, but a lot of companies do that.
Yeah.
Because it's some custom, I think, and the government cannot control everything because too many companies do that.
Yeah, there's probably a bit of that in Australia, and like there'll be workers who don't know their rights about it, so they won't make a fuss, which means they just won't get the pay they deserve. And at the moment, there's a pretty high cost of living with like houses and stuff in Australia, so people are more inclined to work hard for less money just so they can survive.
Right. And perspective of work. In Japan, usually people are expected to sacrifice their personal time to the contribute to the company. And this leads to overtime and overwork. In your company or in Australia, do company expect you to prioritize work over your personal time, or do they think work-life balance is more important?
bit of give and take, really. They do talk about work-life balance, but I mean, they don't want to employ someone that completely prioritizes, like, someone that puts the whole personal life ahead of their work. But I would say it's they do want you to not be miserable coming to work.
Yeah, there's probably more of a movement in Australia at the moment to prioritize your home life over your work life, because when things do go bad for the company, they'll fire you. They don't care. It's not their problem. So there's a bit more of that mindset that, well, it's not your problem if something goes wrong with the company. If they're not paying you or whatever, then that's not your problem to watch out for them if they're not going to watch out for you. So, yeah.
Okay. And the last question, please give your honest opinion about the Japanese work environment and the way Japanese people work compared to your country.
They seem a lot more dedicated to each of their roles, even like down to your work, like a waiter or even a cleaner. Australia, it's a bit more blasé. I'm only doing this because this is my job, which is okay. But I wouldn't want to be, not having any unpaid overtime or no sick leave, because that'd make me even more miserable. Yeah, it doesn't sound very good. Pretty much would prefer the Australian working conditions. I guess it's like a tourist perspective. It is nice. Like every person we've had like serve us, it's been very good.
Yeah, from
Great service.
Tourist perspective, it's very good.
Transportation is
but at
on
the same time, like, are you being treated like shit, or like or
from
you?
workers'
Yeah.
Yeah, we've noticed everywhere here seems like overstaffed. Like there's so many people doing what would be just a one-person job back home, and that one person probably wouldn't get paid well. So it just seems like everyone's really into their job here, and whether they are or not.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So stressful.
Yeah, it seems more stressful here. I didn't know about the sick leave. That's
we don't
really
like
bad.
Yeah, we don't have sick leave.
Yeah.
So vacation is not common here.
Yeah.
So even if you take a vacation, it's going to be, I don't know, if you connect to, do you know Golden Week? We have a national holiday.
Yeah.
If you connect it, it's going to be 10 days. Is the maximum, I think.
Yeah.
So what happens when someone gets they need a major operation like a hip replacement? In Australia, you bank up your sick leave, and then when you need to take time off.
So more than 4 days, we covered by government insurance.
Oh, okay.
Within 4 days, like a cold or like 1 day off, we don't have sick leave, so we need to.
So the government will pay your.
Yeah, if it's a big one.
More than 4 days,
Okay.
But within 4 days, we need to use our paid holidays.
Okay.
Yeah, we get that as well.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.